I had no idea what I should pack myself. Kind of embarrassing. I hated it. In those first few days, you want things to be as easy and as comfortable as possible. Hi everybody, welcome back. For today's video, I'm going to be going over what I packed in my hospital bag. I know I had no idea what I should pack myself, so I watched a lot of videos just like this one just to get an idea more or less of what to pack. I didn't necessarily copy everything that everyone said, since some people I feel took way more things than I would ever pack, but it's what works for them and no judgment there. However, if you do want to keep a more minimal bag for your hospital stay, then I suggest you keep on watching. So the very first item that I put as a hospital bag must-have is this kind of nightgown t-shirt kind of thing that honestly I still wear to this day. It has nice buttons, so it was very, very easy for me to just unbutton it anytime I had to nurse the baby. It has nice long sleeves, which were really good for those nights when it was a little cold, but it's thin, so it's also breezy. It honestly was the main thing that I wore for the 2 days that I stayed at the hospital, and I truly recommend it. The second thing is kind of embarrassing. Adult diapers. And honestly, I don't know what I would have done without them. At the hospital, they give you these huge pads along with mesh underwear, plus a bunch of other padding that you have to include on there. And I tried it the first day just to see how I would feel about it, and I hated it. I hated it so much. However, with these diapers, they were pretty much like pull-ups for kids, but for adults. They were super stretchy and they had all the padding and the absorption that I needed. And with it, I just put together the tucks and the dermoplast, which you'll see later on in the video. And it was just the perfect thing for you know, those first 2 weeks when there's a lot of things coming out of you and you need something to absorb it, but you need to be comfortable as well. My third must-have was a Perry bottle. And mine came with this nice little bag that I could use to keep it in for afterwards and to just store it away at the hospital. And the great thing about these Perry bottles is that this spray section has a nice little angle. So it's very easy to just fill it with water, and then you can just squeeze it out and the water sprays exactly where you need it to spray. Now the hospital did give me a bottle, but it was just a regular squeezy bottle. Like, you would have to yourself angle it and the flow was inconsistent. But trust me, in those first few days you want things to be as easy and as comfortable as possible. And this was for me a very big must-have. It helped me feel cool and soothe some of the pain away down there. So again, truly recommend, very big must-have. The fourth thing on my must-have list are these two things, tucks and dermoplast. And both these things are given to you at the hospital, at least the hospital that I went to. But honestly, it is always good to have your own. And at home, I have a ton left still from all the ones that I bought, just because they were so helpful and you go through them so easily. So first, talk about the dermoplast. So it has a nice little spray, and you just spray it down there right after you wash off and do your business and do whatever you have to do. You just spray it down there, and it provides such a cooling sensation that, trust me, you're gonna need it. The next thing is the tucks. The tucks are just these amazing little pads. So it comes in a bottle like this. When you open it up, it's just these thin little very wet pads with a lot of witch hazel and aloe on them. And these I just put all at the bottom, just layered them down in a diaper, and they helped soothe down there so much. So I truly cannot recommend it enough. And again, you're using a bunch of them every time that you're going to the bathroom. So trust me, get a lot of these. I know, again, the hospital gives you some, but just in case your hospital doesn't, get some. So funny story about this next item. So this next item is the lanolin nipple cream. So I really attempted to nurse, especially in those first days at the hospital. And my baby was able to latch on, and he was able to, you know, work and do what he needed to do. However, after a couple of hours went by and a nurse came by, they all noticed that I was starting to get these kind of scabs. And I just thought, okay, the baby's just sucking a little hard, it's probably just scabs. Come to find out that my child was using me as a pacifier because it just soothed him, and you know, that's perfectly fine, but I would have not survived without this nice little lotion, right? This nice little cream right here. And it's really good. It kind of has the texture of A&D cream or like Vaseline, so it goes on very smoothly, and it's safe for baby to nurse after you have this on. So save your breasts, ladies, and do yourself a favor and make sure you get this cream. Of course, I did take my own toiletries. However, I kept them very, very minimal. So I, for the most part, just took hair conditioner and hair shampoo, which I really didn't use because I didn't feel like washing my hair at the hospital. I just kept it up most of the time. I did take a very clean, unscented body wash. I just didn't know how my body would react, or how the baby's body would react with any of the other scented products. So I just got the Pure Castile soap, I hope I'm saying that right, by Dr. Brown's. Dr. Brown's. I always call it Dr. Brown's, super weird. So by Dr. Brown's, this Pure Castile soap, unscented. It's the one that's safe for babies. Again, I just didn't want anything to cause a reaction on the baby, since I had him on me for most of the time doing skin to skin. So again, very much recommend it. What I did is I bought the big bottle, and then I happened to have these little bottles at my house, so I just filled it up with the big bottle that I bought, and that's what I continued using, especially in the beginning with the baby. I also took some lip balm. Your lips get very, very, very dry when you're at the hospital, and with labor and all that, no matter how much water you drink. So I took this Burt's Bees little chapstick, and that was a lifesaver. My face also didn't feel great, so I made sure I used my little face wash, and I really like this one by Dior. It's blue agave with baking soda. It just makes me feel really refreshed, and that's what I used. I also used this, fun fact, before my wedding to keep my skin really nice and clean and clear. And I took this Dove's aluminum-free deodorant. I, again, didn't want anything with aluminum in it, nothing that would react with the baby, or nothing that the baby would react to. Again, they're newborns, you don't know what they're going to be allergic to, so I just wanted to use things that wouldn't cause or bring up any kind of reaction. I also used some witch hazel spray on my face for just when I was sitting on the bed. You're pretty much sitting on the bed a lot of the time after the baby's born, because the baby is sleeping a lot. So you're just on the bed in the room, and either the baby's on you or the baby's not on you, but you're pretty much just in a room, and just being in the room and being on the bed, you get hot and you just want something to refreshen yourself. So I did have a little spray with witch hazel with me. Obviously toothpaste, toothbrush, you know, the regular thing. Now I did take, for this next must-have, some Old Navy flip-flops. I take Old Navy flip-flops because A, they are very cheap, and B, if I lose them, if they get lost, I don't care. And C, it's just nice to have a shoe that you can walk around the room with, but you can also just get in the shower, because hospital, I don't know, I feel a little weird about going barefoot into the shower at the hospital. So again, I feel like flip-flops is the way to go. I do have a pair of cozy slippers, but I prefer to keep those here. They were not as cheap as the flip-flops, so I want to take care of them, feel cozy with that. Again, like I said, you're mostly on the bed, so no need for any fancy footwear. water bottle. This is a 40-ounce water bottle. It keeps the water at a good temperature, and it's just so great. And you're at the hospital, obviously when you're pregnant, you're super thirsty all the time, and it doesn't just go away. And not to mention, you also need to make sure that you're drinking a lot of water in order for your breast milk to come in and for you to have a good amount. It really helps with production. Water and what you eat are two things that help a lot with whatever you produce with your breast milk. So this is a very big must-have. This was a very easy way to just, you know, fill it up once, and I have it for a long time before I need to refill. Again, water, insulated bottle. Mine is a Hydro Flask, 40-ounce bottle. The Jetty also brings it. I prefer the straw just because it's easier for me to drink it, and especially before labor, you're mainly laying down in these awkward positions that you're not gonna want to do that. You're just gonna want to very quickly take a sip and be done with it. But my next item that I considered a total must-have was a cozy blanket. So the hospital sheets are not as warm as you would want them to be. I spend most of this time again in bed. I was able to walk around a little bit, but they had to give me, my labor was induced. So I had to be laying down a little bit extra with the Pitocin and then with the epidural. So yeah, I was laying down a lot, and I feel like this cozy blanket just made me feel so good. It made me feel a little bit more at home, more relaxed. It kept me warm. It was just really nice. And then after the baby was born, this is what I used to have the baby on me for skin to skin, and then I would just cover him up with this nice blanket because he was just in his little diaper on me for skin to skin. Babies babies come out of such a really warm place in your womb, and they come out into the world, and the temperatures out here are much colder for them, so they need to be kept a little bit extra warm. That's why the skin to skin, your body heat is great, but this little extra cozy bit on them is just awesome. So I very much recommend it. Very much recommend this. And the very last item, guys, is chargers. Don't forget your chargers. Buy extra if you can, and just make sure you don't forget your chargers. Unfortunately, I gave birth during a pandemic, which means the only person at the hospital with me was my husband. Some pregnant women don't even get that, or couldn't even get that, especially in the beginning of COVID. So this was my only way to talk to my family, to talk to my mom, to talk to my sister, to talk to my best friend, just to keep them updated. This was also the way that my family met the baby, because with any other pregnancy I've ever seen, people just come to the hospital and they meet your baby, and that's just how it works. But unfortunately, through these times with COVID, that wasn't possible. So my phone being on was a total must. My husband took his laptop, and again, there's a lot of waiting around before the baby comes, and you will want to have either your phone or your laptop available to you with plenty of power. The phone was also a very easy way for us to get very quick pictures of him cutting the umbilical cord, of me holding the baby for the first time, of us as a family for the first time. And it's just really nice memories to have. It's really nice personal memories for you to have that, again, if your chargers weren't there charging your stuff for you, it would be very difficult to have. And that about concludes my list, guys. Again, I feel like these are the most minimal things that you can take. It was what worked for me, and I hope it's what worked for you. I hope you found this video very helpful. If you did, please give it a thumbs up or subscribe below for more videos like this, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye!